Sell-off today across the indexes. S&P closing right now down 1%. The NASDAQ down 2.25%, down 2.5% earlier in the session. The question on everyone's mind is this sell-off going to continue? And if so, how much? I'm going to talk about that in today's episode. We're going to be looking here at the S&P 500. Of course, we'll be looking at the NASDAQ. I also do want to look in at the Dow and the Russell to check what is going on with them technically. All right. Now, do keep in mind, it was on Monday that I went ahead and sounded the alarm that equities look risky over here. It is very rare that I say something like that. I went ahead and provided that alert and update to everybody. Now we're seeing the signs of a possible sell-off beginning. We're going to take a look at all of that. We're also going to be looking at the dollar, which is really just a little more than unchanged on the day. Gold and silver sold off today. We're going to take a look at what happened to them technically. And then, of course, we'll just quickly check in on Bitcoin. Everyone from this morning should have a really good feel, a lot of clarity exactly where we are on Bitcoin and feel really good about that. Let's start over here with the S&P 500. You could see it's down 1%. You could see it took out the 2-day low over here. I'm on the 12-hour, excuse me. Let's go. On the daily time frame, you can see it took out the 2-hour low. Why am I on the daily right now? Why am I on the 12-hour right now? I'm looking at the charts on a 12-hour personally over here on the indexes. I could look at the daily. That's fine. The reason I went to this higher time frame right now is because I am looking here from a different vantage point, trying to see what is going on and what type of sell-off we could possibly expect. What are the possible reasons for that sell-off, or whether or not we're going to bounce overnight and recover from this. Right now, on all four indexes, they still technically look very good. There is no technical damage that has been done to them at all. Was this a warning shot? Perhaps. Why are people squaring up positions? Why are we seeing selling over here right as all the indexes are trading near all-time highs? There's a couple of things to look at. This is not one of them, but I do want to show you this. I was looking at this last night, this tweet over here from Blue Shirt Advisors. And you can see over here that, look, I didn't want to give a follow, but I'm going to give a shout out over here to who it is and the tweet that was provided. And he's saying this indicated from a TXP trader, right? Ronaldo. And he's saying that when you have this correlation between the VIX and a major stock index, right? That could either be the S&P 500, the Dow, the NASDAQ, or the Russell 2000. And when normally the correlation is quite negative, you can see all these bars here below this zero line. Anytime that the correlation becomes positive, normally you see a sell-off in the markets. Now, that's not to say that you can't have a sell-off in the markets without this going positive, only to say that whenever it does go positive, we do see a sell-off in the markets, a correction. Now, you could see that right over here as of yesterday. I don't know what happened today. We were getting close to that signal triggering. That's one thing to pay attention to. It's not something that I pay attention to, obviously. I don't even consult the VIX ever, as it does not offer an edge in my trading. But I wanted to just show that there were other signs of this possible correction setting up. Mine came off completely. My gut, unusual for me to say that. That's what I said to you on Monday when I said equities look risky. I said, look, technically they look beautiful. There's something here that doesn't seem right for me, as well as this. And listen, look, we're here to work together. We're here to protect our portfolio. We're here to grow our portfolio. We're here to learn. Look, politics really doesn't belong in anywhere. But we have over here right now, this is real. It's happening. This is the Supreme Court .gov over here. And you can see right now Texas versus Pennsylvania. The Supreme Court right here is expecting a response, a rebuttal from Pennsylvania by the 9th. This is all fast forwarding. It's happening. It's real. It could change the projected results of what the media proclaim who is the winner over here. Look, this is what's important. This is what I want to share with you. Markets don't know how to price this kind of tail risks, right? They will ignore this right up until the last second. But if we get a surprise result, be ready for resulting surprises. And that's all I want you to be ready for in case we do have some type of surprise. The markets do not like uncertainty. And if we get a surprise and if the markets start selling off, this is not a sell-off. This is just a minor correction over here. Not even a correction. Market's down anywhere from 2 to 1%, right? A correction is generally, in my mind, in my view, 10%. but this could be the start of a bigger correction over here. Look at technically on the S&P 500, you could see that it has not done any damage whatsoever so far. If anything, you can see where my mouse is. We have a bit of local support right over there at 36.54. So why this is a warning shot, it's nothing more yet. And it could be the start of something bigger, right? Nevertheless, everyone, I believe, this week has gone ahead and tightened up their positions, tightened up their stops. Everyone is protected. Let's look at the NASDAQ, which took the biggest spill today. You could see this morning we were saying as long as we're above, this area over here was resistance, flipped to support. As long as we're above that, everything is looking very good over here. We smashed through it. We dropped down, but look where my mouse is also. See right here at the bit of resistance that was over here. Again, this is now support. There's a touchdown over there, right over there. So the markets are still holding on right now with this warning shot fired to their technical bullish structure. It's still intact. Are we seeing the signs of a possible turn? Absolutely, right? That's what we're watching. Look at the Russell. Again, it has not taken out any of the prior levels. It still looks very good over here. And the Dow is only down 0.25%. The Dow remains holding this bottom line of support. That needs to obviously break before we start seeing the structural breakdown. That's not happening yet. So don't get like, oh, Jordan was like, the equity markets look risky up here. They sold off a little bit today. I'm going to pile into a heavy position short. Don't ever do something like that, right? There's no FOMO. If we're setting up for a bigger correction over here, there's going to be plenty of time to set this trade up. I'm going to set it up with you, right? I'm just watching right now. You can see me on the 12-hour, the daily, on a higher time frame over here because I'm not setting up a trade right now. I'm looking and waiting, stalking my prey. You all know how it goes over there. By the way, public service announcement. If you see anyone on the YouTube comments over here, this says Conquer Trading and Investing. This is not me. I will never give out my phone number, ever, ever, ever. Notice that the only time that it is me, you will see something like this. You'll go ahead. Here's a video from yesterday's video. Here's my look, that's not me. You see that over here? It says Conquer Trading with a lowercase and services. This is just, it's very hard to keep up with all this spam. I want to show you one of my comments. And this is my comment. When you see it grayed out and highlighted, that is a comment for me. If you want to be sure, click on it and check the subscriber count. Okay? You could just click on it and check the subscriber count, but it has to have that gray. And if it does not have that gray like over here, it is a spammer. It is not me. And that's that. All right. So what else are we looking at over here? That's the equity markets. Let's look at the DXY over here. It's closing up 0.1%. It's closing up positive over here. But look, as long as we remain below this trend line over here, our ultra bearishness continues on the dollar. Now, it is possible, right? This could be the beginning and leading up to a bigger move over here. It's possible we could start seeing a bigger move into risk off. It's not happening yet. And if anything, this over here, I would be ready if it breaks down below this area right over here. You see this sloping trend line and this now support area at 90, 83, 84. If we trade below that, I would be looking for a resumption on dollar pairs as we would see more weakness. This is not too convincing over here. You're seeing gold and silver, actually some technical damage was done over here. This morning, we were lining this trade up. Remember this 1875? This was in the Conquering the Markets Telegram group. I had put in over here 1875 was the resistance level to watch as we were coming in almost vertical to it. It wound up being where we retraced. We went in for the retest and we never resumed out. We had this area over here at 1856 and below it at 1848. These two levels to watch that we bursted through on the upside. We needed to see if those broken resistance held as support. They did not. They were broken. They were pierced. And also this trend line over here, gold at this point is no longer attractive from a swing trader standpoint. Now, whether or not this is the low of the cycle over here and within the next 3 to 5 months, we go on to make new all-time highs, that's the camp I'm definitely leaning on. I do believe that. And if you're looking at it from a longer term standpoint, maybe down here at these prices, you want to continue to accumulate. But you really need to be asking yourself, Is gold the asset that you're looking to accumulate right now, or is it Bitcoin? That's a big and important question to be considering. This is silver. Silver looks okay. It doesn't look as bad. It obviously also had a pullback over here. It was rejected. But as long as this area over here at 2330 is holding and continues to hold, well, the jury's still out. I would say that we're deeply neutral over here right now, not looking for an entry over there. What happens if overnight Asia traded up maybe a little bit or down without taking out a low, and then we came out in London and took out this 2432? I wouldn't go for it. It's not convincing right now. The momentum's not there. I would stay away from it and just go right now. Safety is always a good thing. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin over here. You could see this morning during the New York session, we were trading, by the way, overnight, Bitcoin obviously sold off pretty hard. This is the data dash trend line over here I have to the downside. I put this in last night. I had actually made it very light in color. And then this morning during the live stream, we checked it out and price touched the bottom line over here as support. This is now a very important line over here because if we break below it, at that point, we'll be looking for a bigger sell-off. This is the line over here. This is Clarity itself right over here. This morning, we started trading up. We traded all the way up to here. We were trading about 18,500. And I said, look, we're into resistance right now. Now, I don't know if we're going to trade above it or be rejected. We were rejected during most of New York and now trading back up towards that level. A breakout above this area over here, resistance, right? Minor support, then broke. And then on the way up, support. You see that downward sloping, resistance. Once we get above that, Bitcoin is looking very healthy. Does anyone know? And if anyone knows, and by the way, if you're still listening, please go ahead and smash that like button. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the help with the Google algorithm. I appreciate the support. Does anyone know when MicroStrategy is getting ready to purchase their additional 400 million plus in Bitcoin? Because the reason I asked that is because I heard someone say that it was by the end of this month. That's significant. That's actually a lot of supply that will be taken up. There's not much supply out there. They've raised more money than the 400 million, so they're going to be buying actually more than that. It's significant. Pay attention to it over here. We're seeing Ethereum lead the way today. We like that. We like seeing the altcoins rise over there. It is actually over here that Ethereum has that same trend line that Bitcoin is riding up right now. And I could just draw it in there for you to see, to watch your downside as well. I keep saying it's a matter of time before we take out the 621 resistance. Do not take a trade simply because Jordan said something. Understand what you're doing it and why you're doing it. We're also seeing the Ethereum Bitcoin trade right over here now actually taking shape. And you could see it really, really setting off right now on a good note. It's one of the few trades that we've pointed out recently. You notice that I am very, very picky about my trades. What else do we have to look at today? I think that's a wrap over here. Again, as far as the last thing I want to close, and it's probably one of the most important things shared in this video, and I do think that a lot of useful information for myself was achieved over here today. One thing that I do want to say, that if we start breaking down, if we start taking out some levels that are saying, all right, now we're doing some damage, right? We'll be looking for where might be a good place to go ahead and get back long equities. I do believe long equities is the trade going forward. I do believe something like 4,100 is in our 2021 future. We have $350 billion of central bank QE coming each month in 2021. That's significant. Right now, though, we do have some possible tailwinds, some possible headwinds, I should say. Some things that could disrupt the market. We want to be prepared. We want to be ahead of everybody else. That's how we play this game. Right now is not the time to be taking risks on equities, in my opinion. Continue to be careful. They are risky. Don't think that this is the opportunity here, perhaps, to get a little frosty on the downside. We're still looking good over here. Set that trade up. Take advantage of it when it's the right time. Everyone, have a beautiful afternoon. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the love. I'll see you all in the morning.